Hi, White Plains. This is Joseph Ricca, your superintendent of schools, and I'm really excited to be here today with our new White Plains High School principal, Mr. Emily Martinez. Good afternoon, Mr. Martinez.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ricca.
It's great to see you. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're sort of still in your soon-to-be former district as you begin your transition here to White Plains, but it would be great for us to be able just to talk a little bit about your plans as you transition into the role of principal at White Plains High School. An amazing educational community, as you know, and one that certainly is outstanding in so many ways, and like any other outstanding organization, can still grow. So as you're thinking about your transition into this new role, what do you think about your background? What do you think about your experience professionally is going to best serve you moving forward?
Sure. So again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation with you. I think that my background has really set me up to really be able to have a great understanding of what White Plains is. My diverse experiences working with diverse learners from a very young age as a young teacher, working through the different buildings that I've worked in, where I've managed to work with high achieving students as well as students that were at risk and needed and some of our needier populations. I've always worked with trying to identify ways of trying to make sure that students feel that they're included. And I know that White Plains is a big school, but it also has that small feel. And that's one of the things that really attracted me to it. So I'm really excited at the opportunity to continue that tradition. I have to tell you, I have just been blessed over the last few weeks to speak to so many different people that have either heard about my recent appointment and just have nothing but accolades to say about White Plains and how it is just such a great community. So I know that a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing is doing a lot of learning, and I've already shared that with you, and I'm going to I've already started to reach out and start working with our administrative colleagues at the high school. I've walked a little bit of the halls just yesterday afternoon, and there were still some dedicated teachers still there, and they were so excited to greet me. And that welcoming environment is certainly something that just validates this opportunity for me. And I know that I will be reaching out to families. In fact, next week when I start, I'll be that first evening, we're going to have our PTO meet and greet, as well as the guidance night. So I'm excited to finally start getting a chance to meet some of the parents. So
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
just going to jump right in and going to do a lot of listening and working and making sure that all our different constituents get a chance to connect with me. And just kind of share with me all the great things that White Plains has to offer, and they can brag about, but also, where they feel there's areas for growth. So I think that a lot of the things we're going to be doing over the next few months is tapping into everybody's, thoughts, and certainly then coming up with a great solid plan that can continue to move us forward. But
No,
again,
that's
I'm
great.
just so excited about this opportunity, and I just can't wait.
No, it's fantastic, and I know we're all very excited to officially welcome you here next week at the end of the week. 18th is your first official day, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get there the 17th. If I can get there a little earlier, I certainly will.
That's perfect. Hey, what did you teach?
So I was a high school social studies teacher for 13 years,
Okay.
and I had a broad range of courses, as you can imagine. World
Yeah.
history was more of my background. Then I got into some of the more specific electives, where to me that's where I kind of really start to see the power of allowing students to choose. So student choice was a big component of my core philosophy. So I was certainly involved in teaching some new courses, AP and college level courses that really put our students. I always find when you have an opportunity to provide concurrent enrollment courses where students can not only get a rigorous course, but also benefit, financially for families as well. It's a win-win situation. So I'm a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
proponent of trying to expand opportunities for our students.
Those are great opportunities. In fact, we have a call this afternoon with a local college where we're going to talk about even expanding those offerings potentially in the future as well. So very exciting stuff, of course.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Now this year is a little different, than past years. And for the last 6 months or so, we've all, as a national community, as a global community, have been dealing with the challenges associated with the pandemic of 2020. In White Plains, we've worked very hard to make sure that our facility reopening is done in a safe, a smart, and a supported manner.
Mhm.
As you begin to think about moving into this role during a pandemic, what jumps to sort of top of mind, areas that you know you're going to need to look out for to support those types of things?
Yeah, so I think that you're right. This is definitely a challenging and unique time in education. And certainly for me, I think one of the key things is communication. We need to make sure that our families know what our plans are, that they need to know that we are going to make sure that student safety and staff safety is key. So for me, one of the things, and I've already started to get a sense of this, is our families want to know what their child is going to walk into. So that's certainly.
Can I stop you right there for a second? You're absolutely right. Parents and guardians, moms and dads, people in the community without kids in school, they want to know, right? What does school look like during a pandemic?
Yeah.
And that's a big question, because none of us have ever done that before, right? So we're now, we have the plan in place, and you're moving into that plan. And so how do you show them?
Right. So I think that's where, there's opportunities to try to get out and share that information with families and students. I think students also have to be aware of what's expected of them, but also, where is this information housed, right? So looking at getting that feedback, are we making sure that information is easily accessible? Are we pushing that information out? And, how are we doing it? Because I think that's really key. There's already so many anxieties and feelings out there for our families. We want to try to reduce that as much as we can by trying to make sure that we're communicating with them and that we're answering any frequently asked questions, any opportunities that we have to make clarities. If there's some themes that keep coming across from the communication from parents, then that kind of gives us that feedback that maybe we need to do a little bit of a job of providing clarity in some areas where there might be some confusion.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And, parents and guardians, students, they need support. Our faculty and staff members need support as well. You mentioned that you're really going to focus first on learning and listening. I think that's smart, Mr. Martinez. I think that's a smart approach. There is a wealth of information, of institutional knowledge at White Plains High School, tradition, and to be able to learn all that. I could tell you 4 years ago, it was a real blessing to be able to learn all that for me, and certainly still always learning. So how do you approach that learning in a pandemic?
Right. So I think, some of the traditional tools in terms of having those opportunities to do that face-to-face obviously are going to be reduced. We're going to try to make sure that we're providing opportunities for folks to jump onto a Zoom meeting, to go ahead and provide some videos and any informative messages that we can give out. But I also do think that some of the work that I have to do is ask those key questions. What do you feel are the strengths of White Plains, and what are the areas for growth? But also, what do you need from me as your principal? I think that is a key question that I need to make sure that I get that feedback. What do the teachers need from me? What do the staff need from me? What do the students need from me? And also, what do the parents and the community need from me? Because certainly I can come in, as we all know, we can come in with our own agendas, but certainly I need to learn, and how I'm going to learn is by seeking that information, seeking those ideas and that information from all the different stakeholders in order to come up with an informed, best approach to serve the community. And I think that is for me the key. As a servant leader, right? Which is, I'm here to serve you. I'm your principal. I never say I'm the principal. I'm your principal, White Plains.
Yeah, that's so, I appreciate that so much, Emily. It's so wise. Always remembering, always focusing that we are first and foremost always teachers, right, and that our role is to serve. We got into this practice, into this profession, because we wanted to serve other people's children, community, democracy, the bigger pictures, right? Bigger items. And even though you changed the title of your day-to-day, you never stop being a teacher, and you never should, I think, lose sight of
course not.
Primary focus of service. It's great.
Absolutely.
Great. Hey, what would some of your students at White Plains High School be interested in knowing about you? Hobbies, things you enjoy.
Sure.
What would you?
Sure. So I mean, I think one of the things that I've in terms of hobbies. So I recently got into spinning. So I have one of those Peloton bikes, and I've hit that century ride, and I'm still going. And I've So that's a great stress releaser, and it's great because I don't have to worry about going to a gym or anything like that. I can, sweat a lot at home, at late at night if I need to. So yeah, so that's one thing that I do enjoy, and it helps kind of keep me a little bit balanced in all the craziness that our lives are. But yeah, so I think that that's one thing. But also, I think our students would like to know that I am, that I am a native of the Dominican Republic. So I am actually, Spanish was my first language, and I came here when I was 5 years old. So my experience throughout high school, throughout all my schooling, really kind of set the stage for who I am today in terms of one that recognizes the importance of relationships and having those connections in school. And for me, that is one of the most important things that we can do, is to make sure that we reach every single student, because you just don't know what that one interaction you have with that student can really do for a child. So, and I am a testament to that. So I wholeheartedly welcome students to reach out to me. In fact, I just had one of our junior student body members who reached out to me from White Plains just last week and welcomed me, and it was just another validation that this is a great place, and the students are excited to meet me, and I'm excited to meet them. And certainly I've already spoke to the team that when we're talking about starting to have meetings and stuff like that, I said, make sure it's not in the mornings, because I want to make sure I'm out there greeting our students, and I want them to be able to see me walking down the hall and to know that they can certainly say hi to me, and I'm approachable, and my door is always open for any student, any staff member. So I'm certainly excited for finally to meet them next week.
That's great. I think you'll find a number of Pelotonians that you'll be able to talk with throughout the district. But that piece about our kids, it really, you're right on the mark. Our community is a real special one. Our students will reach out to you. They'll tell you when they think you're making a good call. They'll tell you when they think you're not making a great call. I can speak from experience during snow days or questions of snow days, right, Tigers? But the point is that they do feel comfortable enough making that connection with you, and that's one of those things that, even though White Plains City School District is a larger for Westchester County School District, really is a small community and a tight-knit community.
Right.
Access, opportunity for every single child. I know that's part of your core value set. It's certainly part of the White Plains City School District core value set. And we've been doing a great deal of work toward equity, and I call it forever work. I call it always work. However good you think you did today, however well you think you did, tomorrow you need to do better. How do you bring that mindset into the White Plains High School community? What do you bring to it?
Right. So I think one of the things that I bring to it is that consistent lens, as you're referring to, in terms of when we're looking at all our programming, are we making sure that it's accessible to all our students? When we're talking about the type of rigorous courses, are they reflective of our student body? Are we providing courses that are of interest to our students? So looking at the type of courses that are available, the type of activities and opportunities that are available to them, are we building those connections with some of those outside organizations and finding those opportunities to collaborate when it comes to bringing in some, I just happen to know there's something in the works with White Plains Public Library, and some of those collaborations of bringing in folks that are specialists in talking about equity and access and some of those real hard truths that are out there in our society. So I think that for me, that is definitely the way I look at all that we do. And whether we're talking about equity, when we're talking about inclusivity and all our students across the continuum, I think that that's key. So for me, whenever we're talking about students and the programming and how we work with students, and even when we're talking about student making decisions and behavior, how are we approaching our discipline? What's our discipline strategies with students? Are we looking at our cultural competence when we're working with our staff? All those are really at the core, as you said, of the things that I believe are really essential. And again, that's one of the things that drew me to White Plains, is those are conversations that are being had and are welcomed and are appreciated and valued by the community. So that is certainly something that I will continue to utilize and to continue to move forward in all that we do.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Martinez, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with me and to share some of your thinking with the White Plains High School community, making yourself available even before you're officially in White Plains. That really is tremendous. I know there's going to be a lot more opportunity to get to know you. I know you've already been involved in orientation videos at the high school, and certainly our Tigers could expect to see you often. You've got a great PTA, you've got a tremendous faculty and staff, you've got a truly amazing and committed parent and guardian community, and of course, a student body that's second to none. So you're in pretty great shape moving forward. And certainly we're going to be excited to support you and see you be successful as well. Now, because I'm so concerned about your success, I'm not going to ask you Yankees or Mets. I'm not going to ask you Giants or Jets or Knicks or Nets. But I will ask you, what is your favorite high school mascot?
Favorite high school pastime? Football.
Mascot.
Oh, mascot. Oh, it's the Tigers. Come
there
on.
We
That's
go.
a
All right.
no-brainer.
All right, Mr. Martinez. Well, there you have it, White Plains. Emily Martinez, our new principal. Great guy. Please make sure you take time to reach out to him. Very excited to have him as part of our community. Emily, thanks so much. And I'll see you next week, and we'll all look forward to seeing you soon.
You got it. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Take care, everybody, and stay WP proud.